You're listening.
I just don't care.
Look, if you're 300 pounds, then you are a monster, and I don't want you to talk.
Welcome back to Long Walk. Nope, wrong podcast.
I keep going. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Welcome back to This Is a Work. My name is David Hensley. I am the owner and creative director of Long Walk Productions, and I am here to introduce your host, David Two Doggz Hayes.
Thank you very much, David Hensley, and welcome to Rock Hill, South Carolina's only premier pay-per-view wrestling podcast. This is a work. With me, as always, my tag team partner, Chris, the Fashion Plate Barnes. How are you, brother?
I zoned out for a second. You look different, Stan.
Yeah, that hurts. Man, well, you know, I just got through telling you guys, I was really excited to come in here and talk about this thing. What a great show Double or Nothing was. And
AEW put on a great show, and there's nothing WWE can do to hurt you now.
That's right. Until probably about the time you guys are hearing this, you'll have already been made aware there were some more releases thanks to the new face of evil in pro wrestling, Nick Khan. So let's run this down quickly. Lana,
yeah.
What are you gonna do? Ruby Riott. It sucks, but I get it.
I don't.
I mean, well, you needed a tag team, and you had one, and then it just goes to show they don't know what the hell they're doing. Santana Garrett.
Okay, I'll be the dumb one here. Who is Santana Garrett?
Santana Garrett is a good hand for the female division in NXT.
Okay, all right.
At one point, she was, I want to say, top 500 on PWI's list.
Gotcha, okay.
Decent hand. I mean, she never got a lot of play, but decent enough hand. You can't figure out what to do with her. Again, it sucks. I get it. Buddy Murphy. Okay. This is their fault. You had a story going with Buddy and Ray. It was a weird story, granted, but you could have followed up and you could have pushed this beefy tiny man. Now this is a fantastic worker.
100%. I mean, just from his cruiserweight title run to his work with Seth.
Yeah, I mean, just absolutely phenomenal athlete. You pissed him away. That's on the fault of creative. I don't even want to talk about these other two. Alistair Black. This is damn foolish.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, he was about to get the rocket and he got injured. I get, and so you take some time off. He was coming back, man. He was coming back, and apparently he had gotten he'd gotten all toned up, and he was ready to rock, and had a darker gimmick that he was getting ready to come out with, and now they put the kibosh on that one.
Yep.
Damn shame. A damn shame. AEW will pick him up, and they'll run some havoc with him.
Oh, sure.
And then, in my opinion, this is the worst one. Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
Now, I understand a lot of people don't like Strowman. That's fine. People have their opinions. It's fine. You have an athlete of this caliber, and you don't know what to do with him? For that reason alone, save Braun Strowman and fire the creative team.
Oh, sure.
I mean, heads roll. I understand you have to keep Dana Warrior because she's got the Warrior Project and it generates marketing and whatnot, but whatever.
I mean, I'm one of those people who's just like, Braun Strowman doesn't grab me personally, just as a character. He doesn't do much for me, but it's not like I don't understand. He knows how to work.
Yeah,
he's great, and as a big man, the way he moves is amazing.
Yeah, and you gave this man the rocket early. You had him picking up ambulances and buses, and
there was one night he literally walked through Raw tearing the show down, and no one could stop him.
Yeah, I mean, he was on fire. Hell, he did that goddamn swamp match.
Yeah.
Who could come back from that? I mean, the man's not human. I'm telling you, it's.
He was part of the main event of the last pay-per-view.
Yeah,
like he just had.
He had it. Like they were going to start pushing him again. It was going to happen.
Yeah,
and he looked great. It's not like he looked bad in the match or any. Or
nope. All three of those men looked fantastic in that match.
Yeah. Now, okay, I get most people hate Lana. I'm in that camp. I get that too. Lana again. She did every single thing that they told her to do, no matter how humiliating.
Yep.
How many times did she go through the announcer's table? Like 7 or 8 times.
Yep.
I mean, it was consecutive. For like 7 or 8 weeks, she went through the announcer's table. For no reason, no payoff, nothing. Except just to get her to the Survivor Series so that she could do a roll-up. That was it.
Yep.
That was it. That was the only payoff. Guys, what do you... But look, I do understand why you would get rid of Lana. She's fair to middling on the mic. She's a beautiful woman. That's where it ends. She can't wrestle. She doesn't have the charisma that it takes to be in this. So I understand. Ruby Riott. She's not a great worker. But she's got a very interesting look, and the Riot Squad was a very interesting tag team.
It was also a tag team.
It was. And it was an actual tag team that just wasn't thrown together. I don't know. I can't think of a good example. Can you, Chris? Oh, let's see. Nia and Shayna Baszler, because that's just a pairing made in heaven. How about Natalya and Tamina? I mean, I guess that's a team because both their names end in A, so there you go. There.
What about Mandana?
It's very unfortunate. 90 days, I would love to see Strowman and Alistair Black, and yes, even Buddy Murphy, come through the crowd and just start tearing ass up in AEW. And
well, maybe we'll have to wait and see.
I certainly I really don't want to see any of those guys in Impact. That's going to hurt my soul. Especially Strowman and Black.
What do you mean see them? You don't watch?
I look at it. I do. I do.
Okay.
I watch it a little bit.
No, I believe you.
It's fast forward. It's tough to watch, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's most of it is fast forwarding. But we've got enough of the bad stuff because we had an amazing pay-per-view to talk about. AEW's Double or Nothing. Let's get into it. We started the buy-in with Serena Deebs versus Chris Barnes' favorite wrestler, Riho.
I don't know why you're singling me out. Everyone loves her in our crowd.
Except me. I'm the only one that hates Riho.
Well, I mean, everyone else is indifferent. You actively hate her.
I do. And I'm trying, but I can't. If I don't believe in it, then I automatically just hate it.
I mean, the match was a toddler punching a grown woman.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how good of a match you build. At the end of the day, you're absolutely right, Barnes. It is a toddler punching a grown woman.
And that's unfortunate because the Japanese women's Joshi style is actually very hard-hitting and very, impactful.
And that's why I'm so tough on the Joshis that are here in America right now, because this is not what they're being taught.
It's just Riho in particular. Like, I guess her whole thing is she's supposed to be stronger than you think, stronger than she looks. But wow, that's a very big gap to overcome. Because Serena Deeb isn't a huge person.
She's not,
but she towers over Riho.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, she towers over Riho, and honestly, I think that's. She's not only that, she was in the Ruthless Aggression era when she got her head shaved by CM Punk. And then she came to NXT and was a trainer. Uh-huh. And, I mean, she's been around the block, and I hate to say it, she's probably the best that AEW has. And sadly, she works for NWA.
I was about to say, yeah, she works. She's the NWA Women's Champion.
Yeah. But she's primarily being seen on AEW. So,
right.
Yeah, this match, it just kind of was what it was. I'm not buying it. I did not enjoy this match. It seemed like the crowd did, though.
It was fun. It was a fun match overall, I thought.
Yeah, I wish I could be there with you. I couldn't. Deebs ends up going over with a single leg crab on Riho, which is fine with me. It makes sense. There's no reason Riho should be beating anybody in AEW. I'm sorry. Wasn't a fan. I gave it a 1.5 Meltzer.
Okay.
I know it's not.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to argue. It's your numberings. It's your rating system. I'm not going to argue it.
What would you have given it?
That's your job to justify it.
What would you have given it?
At least a 2.
At least? That's only half a point.
I'm saying at least a 2 because, when the focus was not on Riho trying to look like land attacks, when it was more about her moving around the ring and using her body as a projectile and
absolutely
we discussed that when it was more about her using the force of her body, to impact against Serena Deeb or to land that way, not strikes. She needs to avoid strikes. Is
always.
Basically, yeah. It's like when it wasn't that, it was a good match.
I'll concede to that. Yeah. Absolutely. Now moving into the main pay-per-view, we start out with Adam Hangman Page, and my God, that dude is still over.
Yeah.
I mean, after all this time, people are still chanting cowboy shit.
It almost seems like he needs to move up the card back to the world title scene.
I think he's on his way. I think they were just waiting until
crowds
they got
were back.
Crowds.
Yeah.
And we got him, baby. So, Paige versus Brian Cage.
Paige versus Cage, yes.
And I love this match.
It was a fun match. It was a great match.
Awesome. Everybody looks good. I gotta critique it a little bit because Brian Cage is too much of a monster to be going face.
Well, he is because Team Taz or Team FTW showed up to assist, as in, come to ringside, distract, and they tossed Cage the FTW title to smash Paige with while the ref was distracted, and he refused. He wanted to finish.
Did he want something harder to hit him with?
No, he wanted to
What?
end it. He wanted to finish it clean on his own terms.
Well, what sense does that make? I'll bet Taz was okay with it.
Taz was very upset.
Yeah,
But you couldn't tell because Taz is very guarded with his emotions.
He really is. He's a very stoic man. Mm-hmm. What the hell is he doing?
But that's great, though. You want that on color commentary.
I do.
I was saying it's exactly like Bobby Heenan back in the day, watching when one of the Heenan family was in the ring. He would just be yelling advice while with a microphone on.
Yeah. And see, a lot of people don't think that Taz is a very good commentator. I, on the other hand, I enjoy it.
He's wonderful, and I wish I could watch Dark just to hear him and Excalibur. Just
go to YouTube, baby.
I know. There's clips up there where they're just doing bits.
No, that's where they show it exclusively.
Oh, okay.
It's only on YouTube.
They just do bits like just the whole time through, from what I can tell.
It is. They just kind of like, man, they ain't nobody listen. We're just gonna say whatever the hell we wanted to say. And
I love that kind of rapport when commentators have it.
Oh, they're having a good time.
Yeah,
they are. Stark runs in, throws the belt to Cage, who throws it back, tosses Paige out, who swings around, hits Paige with the buckshot lariat, and gets his 3 count. Now,
Cage.
Yeah, I'm getting everybody mixed up.
That's
now.
all right.
Cage, Paige,
you're probably remembering the trading finisher spot too.
They did, because that monster did a buckshot lariat. He flipped over the rope.
Yep.
Well, he attempted to hit that buckshot.
He missed it, but he did the buckshot lariat.
Yeah, I mean, oh my God, that's a monster of a man to be doing a move like that.
Yeah.
Now, Cornette would scream, he's got no business doing that kind of stuff. But honestly, I think we're just in the New World Order where big men can do things like that. And
to quote a song from the Producers, if you've got it, flaunt it.
Yeah. Which, it's kind of like back during, you remember when BMX racing was really popular and X Games and things like that? Mm-hmm. You thought it was crazy that somebody could do a 360 on a dirt bike, and then Tony Hawk does, or not Tony Hawk, but whatever. Whatever. I don't know.
He's the only name I know because he got his own video game.
Yeah. And he does it. Well, fast forward 20 years, there are 8-year-olds that are doing it now.
It's the standard. And so, guess what? We're evolving. Remember when Muta hit a moonsault from the top rope? That we all thought that was the coolest thing we had ever seen. Now you start the match with a moonsault. You can do standing moonsaults.
Yeah, now you can even do standing super shooting star presses.
Damn.
Which is, there's not many people that can do it,
right,
but it's impressive.
And if you can do it, you should fucking do it.
Yeah. So this match was absolutely amazing. I gave this a solid 4 Meltzers. I could have gone higher.
Yeah. Well, hell, I mean, early in his career, when he was the Giant, Big Show was throwing drop kicks.
Yeah, absolutely. And then they settled him down. Hogan told him to stop doing that. Which, again, why? It's Andre never threw a drop kick. Well,
if Andre could have, he probably would.
Yeah. I mean, give me a break here. Moving in to our...
What would scare you more than a man that size suddenly leaving his feet?
Can you imagine? I mean, a 500-pound man coming off the ropes and jumping into the air. And
I don't have to imagine it. I know what that would sound like. Well, who screamed like that during the show? because because that's the sound I would make if it was coming at me.
Oh my God. Our next match was our tag match. We're going to drop things down a little bit. We have the Young Bucks versus Eddie Kingston and Jon Maxley. Comes out the Wild Thing.
He does.
That's awesome. What great music. Everybody knows it. It's the simplicity of it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
As everybody knows this song, everybody sings along. They're already fans of them. That's what entrance music should be for
Absolutely.
a face. And I love the fact that we can actually hear people and have them sing along with it, and it's not plants. It's nice. So again, the match started out pretty good.
Yeah, there were some really great spots.
Now it goes all to shit when the Bucks decide they're gonna. It was like, hey, you know what? It's time for 20 finishers.
It's the standard buck ending of a match that's ridiculous, which is 5 false finishes and then the most underwhelming pin.
This is the biggest problem. They do the Meltzer driver outside on the floor.
Right.
That didn't get a 3 count. You couldn't drag a lifeless body in there and get a pinfall off of that. No. You got to do those knee attacks. What is that? That's the knees. Those knee attacks are awful. They are absolutely dreadful.
They are as dreadful as whatever Balding Buck did to his hair.
Let's talk about that for a minute. I knew there was something I was wanting to bring up.
That man's hairline suddenly jumped back forward at least 3 inches, and I don't think I didn't notice.
You've seen Goodfellas.
Yeah.
So we were talking about this that night. He reminds me of Murray from Goodfellas. Uh-huh. And to where Murray's wigs don't come off. And and I went into this whole tangent about Henry Hill going, Matt, you're going to get your money. You just got to stop breaking balls. And what are you doing? That's Jimmy the Gin over there. You know you're going to get your money. Just leave him alone. And then he said, no, I know. I could have dropped the dime on him every time. I want my money. Tony Khan, I want my money. And that's truly a polyfuse method or something, right? It's got to be. It's
that or black magic.
Yeah, the Young Bucks, they do that. They look like they would practice the dark arts. Yeah, and that's why they keep holding on to their championships.
Yeah, because they won.
Yeah, sadly. With the damn knees, they started out with their super. They're ending the match with their super kick party.
Yeah.
And then they had to do it to Mox. Which I think Mox, it doesn't really matter. You can...
Sure.
Mox can pretty much do the job from here to eternity now. And it's not going to affect his heat.
No.
He's just gonna be over. So it's not gonna affect him. But still, it's a damn shame that... I'm just not a fan of these guys. I don't like the way they work.
I mean, you can go back to every AEW show we've done. I don't like them.
Yeah.
I don't, not to say they're not talented.
They are. They are talented.
But how they've decided to carry themselves and what their characters are is just very unappealing to me.
It's kind of like they think that they're DX.
Yeah.
I feel like. And people are giving them shit, saying, all you do is super kicks and everything. And this is, in their mind, this is their heat. So they're like, yeah, well, that's all we're gonna do then. And no, brother, that's the wrong kind. I swear, I really wish we could get a vet in there and settle these cats down a little bit. Because I think if you'd settle them down and teach them a proper tag team match, man, they would be, in my eyes at least, back to that greatest tag team of all time.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's possible. Aren't they technically upper management?
Yeah, technically, yeah. They've got stock in it. They're the elite.
Yeah.
So, having said all that, even though I buried it for the past 10 minutes,
you buried aspects.
Yeah, I did enjoy the match.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Eddie Kingston, he looked better than I've ever seen him look. Mm-hmm. Eddie Kingston, I think, needs to be. He doesn't need to be in a tag team.
One of my favorite spots was Eddie Kingston had one of the Bucks in like a hold, and I think it was Matt who came up to break it by punching Kingston in the face, and Kingston just doesn't flinch, just eyeballs him angrily after he gets punched. Like the fuck was that?
Yeah. And no, I love Eddie Kingston because I believe that Kingston is what he portrays in that ring. And that is a I don't even know the word. It's a white trash badass.
Sure.
Just a dirty brawler of a man. Mm-hmm. He looks like it. I believe I made the comparison. He looks like he comes outside with some sliders on and his boxer shorts and starts screaming at kids to get off his lawn, and then dad comes out and says, "Hey, what are you yelling at my kids for?" And he beats the dad down, and then he starts spanking the kids just for the hell of it, and then walks back inside to have a nice cold beer because he's not done with breakfast yet. So, yeah, the Bucks go over. I give this match 3 Meltzers. I did enjoy the match.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Even though I've been shitting on it. I did really enjoy the match. There's just certain things we don't need all those finishers.
There's just certain things I don't like the Jackson brothers.
The Jackson brothers.
They're going to have to become that eventually. They can't be the Young Bucks forever.
No, they're not even young yet. I mean, they're 30 now, right?
At least.
Yeah, so they're just the Bucks. And in 5 years, they're going to, by wrestling standards, they're the old Bucks.
Yeah.
So, what would you call them? The old Stags, or I don't know.
I don't know. That's why I said it just probably ended up being just like the Jackson brothers.
Yeah. I don't know. Wouldn't that be some kind of gimmick infringement with the Jackson 5 or something?
I hope so. I hope they get sued.
Moving into our next one, we have the Casino Battle Royal.
Oh, yes.
I love the Casino Battle Royal. And I come to find out a lot of people hate this match.
Why?
I don't know. They said you're just the couple of comments that I read is you're biting on the Royal Rumble.
The Royal Rumble did not invent that match.
Right.
The Royal Rumble televised it.
Right. I mean,
there's been battle royals forever.
Yeah.
And in fact, their take on the battle royal is actually pretty good.
I enjoy it. I like the gimmick of it.
Yeah.
It's because hey, we're gambling. We're in Vegas, baby. It's
essentially like 4 different batches of wrestlers are put into the ring at different times.
Yeah.
And not only that, they keep an accurate counter going of when the next ones are coming out.
They absolutely did. That clock was running the whole time. And the thing about it is, they put on such a good match.
Yep.
That people were not counting along with the clock, much like they did with WWE several years ago. Oh man, was that a disaster? What was that? That was
It was Seth Rollins versus
Roman Reigns, wasn't? Or no, it was Dolph Ziggler.
It was an Iron, not an Iron Man match.
I think it was an Iron Man match actually.
Yeah, they got bored with the match and started counting along with the timer.
Yeah, it was. That was tough, man. This it comes down to Jungle Boy and Christian. Jungle Boy tosses him out.
Yep.
Now let's talk about our surprises in there. Go ahead.
Well, hold on. The end is great, especially because it's Christian, Jungle Boy, and who's the last?
Well, that would be I started to say our guest, but it wasn't the guest. Who was it?
Matt. It was Matt Hardy.
There you go.
Because Matt turned to Christian and was like, "You and me team up. We take care of him."
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, because Matt was trying to win with all his cronies,
right?
And so he was like, "Okay, we take him out, and then we'll fight on." It's like, and then it's like Christian did that. Okay, sure, and then immediately betrayed him.
There it was.
It was. Yeah. It's the face betrayal that I always love because it's like. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll trust you, obvious heel person who I shouldn't trust.
Right.
And then they turn around and it's like, goodbye.
Yeah.
And then it was because then Christian and Jungle and I was afraid I was gonna Jim Ross that for a second. Christian and Jungle Boy, they had a very decent end of match go at it, and Jungle Boy went over.
Yeah. It was good. Now, before that happened, we had our Joker card come in. And this time, our Joker was none other than Lio Rush from WWE and NXT.
Yes.
You know what? I'm glad to see him.
Yeah.
It is my understanding that Mark Henry and Lio had...
Oh, Lio tweeted it. That he had a long conversation with Mark Henry because they had trouble. It's the reason Lio ended up exiting.
Right.
Because they butted heads pretty hard.
They butted heads pretty hard, and Lio had butted heads with other people as well.
Yeah.
But I also heard that his contract with AEW is temporary. As it just goes from month to month, as I understand it.
Right.
So this could be, this could be something that's we'll see twice, and then we'll never see Lio Rush again, except maybe on Impact.
Maybe
we'll on New Japan.
Maybe.
So now, I always loved the Casino Battle Royal, and it did not disappoint.
Oh my God, Penta.
Oh, Penta.
Penta was wild, and it was great.
This whole match was just absolutely amazing, as it usually is. 5 Meltzers across the board.
Absolutely.
And I guess we're going to push Jungle Boy again. We do this about twice a year. We give Jungle Boy a push, and then we drop him, and then we let him build back up. And then we drop him again.
I guess they're just testing the waters. Is like they see he's gotten popular enough to almost get to that level, and they just keep trying it.
Yeah, I thought he was actually going to make a hard run when him and MJF a few months back when they had their fight on Dynamite, and they tore the house down. I thought it was a fantastic match.
Yeah.
But yeah, so 5 Meltzers for the Casino Battle Royal. Jungle Boy goes over, which means that he gets a world title shot in the future. So, moving into our next match, we have Anthony Ogogo. I love his name. I absolutely love it. Versus the American Dream, Cody Rhodes. I did find out why he did that.
Why?
Because the American Dream was his dad's name,
right.
And he has been trying to get the rights to it for a long time.
Nice.
So he had to make sure that he used the American Dream, Cody Rhodes, on this for copyright purposes, so that he could have some type of copyright to it, which I thought was strange, which tells me I don't understand copyright laws like I thought I did.
I don't understand them at all.
Yeah, I thought I at least had a...
I just know Disney keeps fucking with them so that they'll never lose Mickey Mouse.
Right. Does anybody want Mickey Mouse?
Disney does. I mean, basically, if it lapses in the public domain, people could also use Mickey Mouse for whatever they want, and that would be problematic for Disney, I assume.
Yeah, I can imagine. So,
It's
do
just
they use Mickey Mouse for anything anymore, other than just he's at the parade? I mean,
they still do shows, Mickey Mouse shows. They've got animated shows, especially for the younger kids, and they've done animated shorts.
Okay. Well, this was the... I don't know. I feel like if there was a match to carry this pay-per-view, I think it was this one.
Yeah, okay.
I think I was shocked at how well a Go-Go did.
Yes.
Because, I mean, he's a boxer.
Yes.
And, usually, we've seen boxers in the ring before, and it doesn't go well. The thing about it is, I was a little put off with the way it started. We're 30 seconds in, and a Go-Go gives a shot to the stomach to Cody. Now, this is the same thing that has put people out for the past 3 weeks.
Right.
We're 30 seconds in, and he does this. And Cody sold it. But he wasn't going to give him a 3 count off of it. We go back and forth. He looked great.
Yes.
Cody looked great. A Go-Go was... I just really like saying his name. A Go-Go can go. I mean, I am shocked at how well he can work. I do believe a part of that was... by Cody's design and just setting up the match.
Right.
But I don't know. What are your thoughts?
It was a good match. Honestly, I would have liked to seen a Go-Go go over.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of would have too.
I don't care that it was Memorial Day weekend. It's fine.
Yeah, I thought we were friends with the British. It's
yeah.
Do we?
Yeah, but it was Memorial Day weekend, and they're smack dab in the middle of Florida. I can see how this goes.
Yeah, I guess that's. But yeah, no, I agree. A Go-Go should have gone over.
I feel like
and because now, this is kind of like what happened with Cody and Lance Archer. When Lance Archer first came in with Jake the Snake Roberts, and Jake started calling Cody Caesar, and you were like, "Oh man!" And Archer was there, and he just had this grimace on his face, and just got in the ring and just started whooping ass. And then it's okay, it's going to be him and Cody. And oh yeah, here we go. And then Lance Archer gets beaten clean in the center of the ring. I was like, well, what the hell was? What did we do all this for then? Because honestly, Archer's never recovered from that.
you're right. We need to nerf Cody.
Yeah, we kind of do. We gotta settle him down.
A little. He has at the very least graciously made sure that he's not in any world title situation.
Yeah, and I guess that's one thing, but
now he's stomping the upper mid card flat.
Yeah, and the thing about it is you're forgetting your formula that your dad wrote for you. Your mid card guys are your mechanics. Your mechanics get other people ready for the big time.
Yeah.
Now, he's already established himself as a mid-card guy, whether he needs to be or not.
Right.
So I think it's his job to get people ready for the upper echelon. I think a Go-Go would be a fantastic placeholder for a world title, or at least the TNT title.
Sure.
I think it would work out, but and I hesitate to say the word squash because you didn't squash him, but
Yeah, it wasn't, but it will ultimately serve the same purpose.
yeah, you beat him clean, you popped right back up, and you walked around. You only sold that punch just enough to get the match going.
You're supposed. I mean, I think you're supposed to sell a punch from an Olympic caliber athlete, boxer.
Yeah,
a little better.
Yeah, I will, especially since he's been knocking people out with a stomach punch.
Yeah,
for 3 weeks he's been doing that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and not to mention, you're not doing the factory any favors either. That's their new stable that QT Marshall is representing, which is that's just weird. I can't get behind QT Marshall. He is a jobber. He looks like a jobber. He talks like a jobber. He wrestles like a jobber. I don't know what he's doing, but he has this Alex Jones look.
Yeah.
To him.
Partially. Something else too.
But yeah, let's move into. Speaking of Lance Archer, let's move into that one. Miro versus Lance Archer for the TNT title.
Yes.
Another stellar match. Oh my God, Miro. I'm torn on this match.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that Miro should have won the match, but Lance Archer is buried now. And I love they call him the Murder Hawk, man. How do you make a jobber out of a Murder Hawk? That's insane. And somebody that as big as he is and looks like it and is managed by Jake the Snake. And I mean, I don't want to call him a jobber. That's not fair, but for the love of God, it should never have been Lance Archer for this pay-per-view. You know what? You know who would have been great? Luchasaurus would have been a great match. They could have done something.
Has Archer held the TNT title?
No, he hasn't held the belt yet.
Then I feel like you're right, because he should have.
Yeah.
Because he's had now 2 big attempts and he has failed.
Yeah. And everything that he's gone up with, and now apparently Archer's face.
Yes.
With Jake Roberts' face. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's what it'll be going forward, but at least for this match it was set up as they were the faces in this confrontation. Yeah,
because Miro attacked Jake during the weigh-ins segment.
And did you see what he did during the weigh-ins?
He kicked him in the nuts.
Then he punched him in the stomach.
Yes.
Same thing that Ogogo did.
Also, Jake came out during the match to try and get Miro with a snake, and Miro had none of that shit.
Oh yeah, he comes out with the snake, starts to unwrap it.
Miro stops him and tosses the bag back up the ramp.
PETA is gonna have a field day.
Yeah, well, someone's gonna have snake burgers.
You remember when Earthquake did that?
Yep.
He was wearing a chef's hat, for the love of God.
And
that monster.
On a grill.
Oh, God. That was good times. Back when wrestling was real.
Yeah.
And they killed animals and ate them like men.
Well, the best part was Earthquake had the chef's hat, was still wearing his wrestling gear.
Yeah. He had the spatula and the tongs and oh my God, that was so good. Now, look, I'm not taking anything away from this match because this match was amazing.
And it's not like they tried their best with the ending where Miro slapped in his, was it the Accolade or what?
The Accolade.
Not the Accolade, but I think they call it something. I think they call it something different. But
yeah, it's something different here.
They locked it in. He locked it in, and Lance didn't tap, but he passed out.
Right. Yeah. And here recently, Miro has not been just putting for argument purposes, I'm calling it the camel clutch.
It is.
He hasn't been just applying the camel clutch.
Yeah.
He's been, what you saw, he's been leaning all the way back until they're bent in half, basically, which the way he does it just makes it look just so painful.
Nasty.
Oh, my God. And he's been doing that a lot lately. It looks fantastic. I hope he keeps doing it. He did the same thing with Archer, but Archer was a little bit too big, and it didn't really work out quite so well. Still looked good.
Yeah.
But yeah, he kept some heat by not tapping and just passing out. So there we go. It's still an incredible match, but I think the Murder Hawk is done. As far as I think that we just stuck a fork in him.
I mean, unless they take a new direction with him, which I don't know what to do.
Boy, it's gonna be hard, man. I mean, they started him out so strong with that redneck Southern vibe of, they put him out there in the ring with a bunch of jobbers that was just out in a field and just.
Yep.
Oh man, it had such raw grittiness to it, and they
presented him going after Cody as death on two legs. So
yeah, and now it almost looked like he's smiling at people, and I hate that. I just hate it. Regardless, I gave this match 4.5 stars. It was a great. I was compelled from beginning to end in this match. One of the great things that I saw was the him doing the tightrope walk.
Yes.
And then the moonsault. It was just, again, big men doing big things. I thought it was fantastic. Moving into our next one, Britt Baker versus Hikaru Shida for the AEW Women's Championship.
Debuting the newer, bigger version.
Yeah, slightly bigger. Weird, still a weird oval shape.
I don't like the vertical oval, but it looks better.
It does. It's got a little bit more shine to it. It's nice. Surprisingly good match. I don't have a lot bad to say about this.
Which is usually how you gauge matches.
Yeah.
No, it was a good match.
It did get a little bit slow at times, and there were a couple of botches with the abdominal stretch.
That's true.
And that, that's unfortunate, but still, surprisingly good match. And lo and behold, we have a new women's champion in AEW.
Yep.
Britt Baker goes over with what is it? The lockjaw. I keep wanting to call it the mandible claw. It's for all intents and purposes, that's what it is with a crippler crossface edition.
Kind of, yeah. It's she locks him in place and then sticks her fingers in their throat.
Yeah, with the glitter glove this time.
It's a bedazzled. It looks like a bedazzled surgical glove.
Yeah. I'd never seen that before. It was a nice addition.
That she had on her hand to a point where it was like, that's not sterile anymore.
Well, now look, I think the dentist knows what she's doing.
Does she?
I don't know. She's from Pittsburgh. Who knows? It's a guess at this point. I really enjoyed this match. I gave it a 3 Meltzer. Probably the one of the highest I've given a women's match in AEW. Our next match, another tag team match. Was kind of surprised about this one too. We have Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page versus Darby Allin.
Did you say Derby?
No. Why? What did you hear?
I think you know what I heard.
The mind hears what it wants to, I believe. I think you want him to be called Darby Allin. I personally find that offensive, Barnes, because I think he's quite the talent.
Who did Darby Allin partner with?
The Sting-a-ling. That's... Who cares? I'm not a Sting fan. That's... What a joke. It's
Wow. All right.
old-ass man
Jesus.
walking around looking like the Crow. It's embarrassing. No, this match started strong.
Is that Ric Flair mark just springing to life?
That's right. Yeah, what is... Look, his first partner was the Ultimate Warrior, and the Ultimate Warrior is terrible. I have always hated the Warrior. I continue to hate the Warrior now.
Right.
Even after his passing, I do not look back at his matches fondly. I look back on them as a time that should be forgotten. Never again is what I say.
Well, was it his choice? I mean,
Was it the Warrior's choice to suck?
no.
I think it was.
Sting's choice to be partnered with him, you know.
Well, I don't think so at first, but he
God.
stuck it out.
Well, yeah, because that's what you do.
They went to different territories.
Yeah.
And then they fired him.
It's almost as though he flourished once he got away from the Warrior.
That's true. Well, they both did, actually, it turns out. It's just Sting flurry. Sting is slightly better than the Warrior, is what I'm trying to say. He is slightly better.
Okay.
And has much more charisma. And this match... like I said, it started strong. It did kind of go off the mark a little bit.
At what point?
Well, honestly, when the bell rang. Well, because you know how they did this almost every single match. They started fighting before the bell, and Darby, he shoots himself, through the ropes and goes after everybody.
Yeah.
Sting does a high cross body from the I guess the rampway onto the floor, and gets him, which didn't look good. Had that, I don't know. Did you ever see Ric Flair when he took the title from Harley Race?
No.
And how he did that high cross body and it kind of looked bad.
No.
It kind of looked the same way.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, and now to be honest, Sting looked decent. He looked better than he had any right to look. He ends up taking his shirt off and revealing the bodysuit that he used to wear when he was the Crow Sting. And yeah, we gotta let's keep the shirt on from now on, huh? How about it? So the match goes on. Sting ends up hitting a Scorpion Death Drop, which that was fun to watch.
Yeah.
And he did like 2 or 3 stinger splashes.
Yeah, he got Ethan Page and Scorpio in the corners.
That was nice to see. He can still do the stinger splash. He can still do the Scorpion Deathlock, and he can still do the Scorpion Death Drop. To which that's how he got the win on this one. It hurt my heart that he felt the need to pin Scorpio Sky or make Scorpio Sky tap.
Yeah.
I would have much rather Ethan Page tap on this one. I thought that we were giving Scorpio the rub because he's a hell of a talent. And
He really is,
He
yeah.
needs to. He's another one that needs to be moving up that echelon. I thought this was a fun match. I ended up giving this one 3.5 Meltzers.
They are really committed to having Darby and Sting have these weird meetups with these weird little cinematic meetups before they go to the ring.
Tell us about that.
Well, it was just Darby Allin skateboarding down the middle of the road in the desert, and then all of a sudden Sting pulls up beside him.
Where does he live?
I don't know.
I mean, I know Sting lives in parts unknown, and that makes sense.
No, Sting is still billed from...
he's Venice Beach, though, isn't he? Yeah.
So he drove from Venice Beach to wherever this desert is. And it's like, going my way, and then Darby Allin gets in the car.
Darby showed him a little leg, and...
stood up in a convertible while it was going full speed.
Yeah. At one point, Sting pulled it over to the side of the road and said, okay, look, gas, grass, or ass. Nobody rides for free.
And then it jump cuts to the arena.
It was a fun match.
Yes.
I did. And all of these matches moved. That was nice. Now,
I think they need to transition Sting to out of the ring, but
absolutely.
like as fun as it has been, it's just like they need to.
I gotta wonder what they paid him. That's it. They had to have paid him a lot, right?
Oh yeah, if it's enough to get him in the ring and do it again.
Mm-hmm. And while it was nice to see him in the ring, let's let this be the last one, huh? Maybe one more tag team, and a legit tag team. I don't want people going crazy, and let's just for his safety, let's keep this a regular tag match. One more time, and then you can just be a manager. So, our next match is for the AEW Championship. We have your champion, Kenny Omega, versus...
The Bastard Pack.
The Bastard. Versus freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. People were just going to have to get over it. This was a great match.
Fantastic from start to finish.
Yeah, just absolutely. To the point to where I think it's safe to say nobody believed that Orange Cassidy was going to take the AEW title, right?
But here's the thing. You didn't feel like an idiot for having hope.
Right.
Because that's what it felt like watching Roman Reigns versus Cesaro.
No, you're right.
I felt like a fool for believing for even a microsecond that Cesaro might be allowed to rise to the occasion.
You were still a fool for believing it. But it's okay because you had fun doing it.
Right. Well, no, it's not foolish. They presented it in a way.
Foolish.
Okay. It was presented in a way where you were allowed to have that flight of fantasy because Orange Cassidy was allowed to live up to his potential.
Right.
And he's in the ring with other phenomenal people that he has a history with.
Yeah, that everybody took care of everybody. Mm-hmm. It was kind of nice to see Pac at one point when he started doing his sloth kicks.
Yeah, no, they waited and pulled that out late in the match.
Yeah. And does 2 kick, maybe 3.
Yeah.
And Pac just kicked him in the dick.
Yeah.
We didn't even get the super sloth kick.
Nope.
It's we got whoa. No,
it was Pac's had enough. He's done.
Yeah. That's one reason that I love Pac. He looks like he should be that guy.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, I just had a thought.
Sure.
How about for a tag team, Pac and Buddy Murphy?
That would be great.
They're both fast. They can both take to the air. They're both built like brick shithouses. Mm-hmm. I'd pay to see that. Absolutely.
One looks like a member of the Fellowship. One looks like a member of the Uruk-hai.
Right. See, this works. This is all coming together, man.
Yeah. That match was just delicious.
It was so much fun. The most fun I have had watching any wrestling this year or last year.
Yeah.
This was easily 5 to me. Mm-hmm. I gave this 5 Meltzers. Now, Kenny Omega retains. We knew he was.
Yeah. Storyline wise, this is not the point where he's going to give it up.
I'm not ready for Pac to take Pac needs to take the TNT title first.
Yeah. But I mean, the rate he's going, he will eventually.
Yeah. Or isn't it the TBS title now?
I feel like it should be, but it probably
Since they're on TBS.
they will. I mean, I think the main shows will be moving to TBS, won't they?
Yeah, that's my understanding.
That's good for them. That's
sure.
It's a wider audience. It's the bigger station.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the TBS, we'll just call it the TBSNT title.
The TMBT title.
Yeah, I would much rather see Pac with that title.
Sure.
Right now. I think he could hold that belt for a really long time.
I think this would be the perfect time for AEW to reestablish the old rule of, their title, the TNT title, is the stepping stone to the world title.
Yeah, you're automatically the number one contender once you capture that title.
Right.
That's the old NWA rule.
Yep.
I've always loved that rule. Yeah, I'm down. I vote for that.
Yeah.
Which brings us now to our main event. I can't give this a rating, guys, because there was no wrestling in it. And the reason I know there was no wrestling in it is because Jericho said that within 4 hours after they finished the pay-per-view. He was like, yeah, we filmed this for 4 days. We brought in a stunt coordinator and a fight choreographer. And it's you didn't have to tell us that.
You really didn't.
Why did you do that? It's they brought in stuntmen, stunt choreographers, fight choreographers. It's wrestling, guys. What are we doing here? It's you almost killed this for me had I not enjoyed it so much. But yeah, it's I think I woke up at 8:00 that morning, Monday morning.
Yeah.
I got on the phone. I'm checking stuff out. Chris Jericho talks AEW, and I'm like, oh, okay, what do we got here? Yeah, we spent 4 hours. I was like, are you kidding me? Just the body's not even cold yet. Can you can you wait a week before you drop that kind of information, please? Now, granted, I think we probably all could have figured out that this was pre-taped. I think that's kind of obvious.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean like the cuts to, I wonder what so-and-so is doing right now. And just cuts.
But regardless of all this, this was so much fun.
Yes. It was very well done.
As you want to start us out?
I can't remember, honestly. It's
okay. I'll start us out. You jump in when you feel comfortable.
Sure.
So we start out in the middle of at the 50-yard line.
Yes.
Limousine pulls up.
Oh, this part, yeah.
MJF gets out with his jeans on, glitter jeans.
Oh my God, those
because he's going
jeans.
Buckhouse style.
Fucking, oh yeah.
And colorful knee pads.
Well, they weren't colorful; they were a scarf pattern.
That's right. It was the scarf pattern. That's
you're blinded by the pants.
I was blinded by the pants. That was. And he's got his Pinnacle shirt on, and
yep.
I want one of those shirts. I rarely mark out for things like that and go, hey, I want that. I want that shirt. It's got that old Four Horsemen feel to it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so great. So he's out there, he's calling for everybody, he's looking for him, and then Judas starts playing. And here they are at the top of the stadium, and they start rappelling down.
Repelling is in quotes, but yes.
Tell us
They're
about
falling with style.
They were bouncing up and down. They couldn't. It's like they always like, how'd you do this? How did where's the release button?
You guys know how to rappel down? Yeah, sure, whatever.
I'm scared. It's
like none of them showed up for rappelling class.
No, as somebody who has been rappelling before, that was not rappelling in any way, shape, or form. That was a controlled lowering.
Yes.
It was.
With some people bouncing off the side.
They're just swinging, and this was the first time they'd done that. I mean, it can't be anything else.
Yeah, just
but,
I just expected someone to, I can't stop. I don't know how. Bang, bang, bang.
Folks, we have just experienced the tragedy here. Chris Jericho was supposed to come down like a superhero-like fashion, and the worst has happened. However,
the worst part about that is, though, I know how rappelling works. Mm-hmm. They could have just fucking gone for it. They had people on belay to stop them if they got out of control.
They taped this over 4 days.
Yeah, there would have been people at the bottom with control of that rope who could have taken over and stopped them if something bad happened.
Yeah. I didn't know that you have done rappelling. Well, you were in ROTC though. That's where you did it?
Yep.
Okay, that does make sense.
So, I had a little badge for it and everything. Not a badge, but
so you would definitely know that it was not done with military-like precision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I didn't need to rappel to figure that one out.
God bless MJF for staring at that and not just laughing his ass off as he watched them drop.
Guys, I can't put this over enough. They were bouncing up and down. They looked like they were arguing while they were bouncing. It was
like, pull it together. We're supposed to look cool. I don't know how to stop.
I gotta pee. I can't put my arms down. Well, they finally got to the bottom. Judas has been playing this whole time.
Entirely.
Crowd doesn't care. They're just singing along. They're fine. It's
cool. They're distracted.
Yeah. So they start fighting. They get into this ring.
First they trap MJF in the limo because
that's right.
They rush him and he dives back in, and that's when you learn. Obviously, MJF does not share his limo,
right?
Because he's trapped in there alone, and as they're pounding on the limo, the other members of the Pinnacle attack them.
FTR pulls up in their truck. Yeah, that was from the previous feud with the Best Friends.
Yeah, they gave everyone else a ride.
Yeah. Jumps out, everybody's going bunkhouse style, which again, I've got friends that hate bunkhouse style. It's like, it's just a fight with jeans on. I was like, yeah, but it looks cool. It does.
Also, it's practical.
Yeah.
It's like, if this is meant to be like a knockdown, drag out fight, you don't wear the ring tights.
Yeah. This is
especially because I don't remember if it's
ring tights are expensive.
Also, I don't remember if it's both members of FTR, but they don't wear full trunks. They wear wrestling trunk briefs.
Yeah, they both wear trunks.
You don't go into a fight like that.
Right? Not this kind of fight.
No.
So they wage war. They go all over.
They branch off. MJF versus Jericho. Everyone has their own boss fight.
MJF, they work their way up to the manager's area, where there's the offensive coordinator for the Jacksonville Jaguars who's throwing him footballs, and he's throwing them at MJF.
So many. Oh my God, there's so many office spots. I mean, including MJF getting pushed up into the wall with a table.
Oh yeah,
him getting megaphoned.
Yeah, he got megaphoned, and folks, that if you didn't see it, he didn't get hit with a megaphone.
No.
He got yelled at with a megaphone, which hurt his ears.
Yes.
However, he did end up hitting Chris Jericho with a telephone, like an old school one.
Yes, and Chris can't come to the phone right now
because he's getting his teeth knocked out or something like that.
Yeah. Was the MJF?
Meanwhile, we have Jake Hager and Wardlow fighting in the meat locker. next to the
with the very real half pigs.
Absolutely. Listen, you did this Sunday. They absolutely were real.
Yes, 100%.
Sometimes it's summertime in Florida,
Right.
and you want a luau. Well, you can. Well, I have tried to get. I've called farms. They don't want to give them up. I have called petting zoos. They don't want us to kill the pig.
Dogs.
I tried to call Alexa Bliss to get the remains from Larry Steve. I now have a restraining order, and I am being sued.
Right.
I can't talk more about
Rightfully
this.
so. Dogs, I'm just going to point one thing out. They're fighting in the kitchens and the storage area for a football stadium.
You don't think we can have a luau in Daly's place?
I do not.
We have wrestling in Daly's place. If you can have wrestling, you can have a luau.
You can have a high-class function like a luau.
Yes. It's just good science.
Right. So they fight.
They're fighting back through the meat and the pork and the
Well, I like before how they went in. There was basically this spot where it was like, I'm throwing you in the locker. No, it's cold in there. I'm throwing you in.
Yeah. And then so smash cut to, hey, what's the rest of the crew doing? Well, here comes Sammy Guevara, and he's walking around, and he's looking for somebody to fight. And he walks into this particular area of the stadium.
Oh, God. It's
and a light shines.
he finds, yeah. And who should be in chair storage?
But the chairman of AEW, Sean Spears, surrounded by tons of chairs with a blue light, which that's OSHA. You have to have a blue light surrounding the chairs, or otherwise
No, it's like
you could be fined.
No, I think he was activating his chair kinesis.
They go at it. They wage war all over the place. And then we go back to
Proud and Powerful and
Proud. There you go.
And FTR,
who have found their way to the bar.
The club. No,
You're right. This is a
club.
nightclub. Now, see, now you bought that.
No, I didn't.
That there's a club in Daly's place, but we can't have a luau.
Which one's more likely?
I think a luau's likely.
That's what a liar says. Okay.
I have seen Tony Conti wears Hawaiian shirts. Why wouldn't he want a luau? Am I wrong?
Anyway.
So we're into a dance club. We got the DJ doing the wooka wooka on the ones and twos, and
Proud and Powerful comes in to find FTR already there at the bar with Tully celebrating Pride Month early.
Yeah. They're fighting back and forth, and then it pans over to the DJ. He looks up, and it's Conan.
It's fucking Conan.
Why?
Which I believe was what I yelled when I noticed it. I said, is that fucking Conan?
Yeah, indeed, it was fucking Conan.
Well, because FTR had
he
Tully.
looked and he said, Orale, and everybody looked, Orale, arriba la raza.
And he threw on a song which clearly had to be one of his.
It should have, yeah.
And
he called somebody a strawberry, and
it's because FTR had Tully, so they.
Oh, that's right. Tully was in this thing.
Oh yeah, no, he was fighting.
Tully had the sleeveless shirt going, had a lot of side boobage action.
He started cutting sleeve and didn't know when to stop.
Yeah.
I'll never understand that look. I get sleeveless, but I don't get like sideless.
See, I do it. I do it too.
I know, and I don't say anything.
You don't understand me either.
I don't say anything because I'm a friend.
I don't know why everybody else says something about it.
See, I always appreciated when Scott Hall would just cut the side out completely and just wear it like a.
Yeah, see, now that's when you didn't know when to stop.
Well, that just means it's like it's decorative. It's coming off. It's just.
But yeah, no, you're right. That's I did always like that look. I had a
but they battle their way through the club. I mean, to get to each other, they had to beat up every other person in that club.
Yes,
well, no, they didn't
did.
have to. They decided to.
They did, yeah, it was a decision was made.
Everything between them and each other had to go, and it did.
Oh man, which and now we go back to MJF and Jericho.
I think. Well, no, they make it to the boardroom, the meeting room.
Yeah, you have to refresh my memory. I'm starting.
They fought through the hallways, through an office, and then they end up in the boardroom.
Yeah, there was something that happened in that boardroom, and I can't remember what it was.
They fight across it, and then Jericho opens the is an office supply thing, and there's a bat there.
Right.
in the football meeting room.
And why wouldn't there be?
Because it's a football place.
Yeah. That's some sound logic.
You didn't agree with me on Sunday.
Yeah, well, I've been drinking on Sunday, so.
And also, what I'm calling a tribute to New Jack, someone did get stapled, did get a note card stapled to there.
Yes, they did.
I think it was MJF, actually.
And, MJF ends up getting some juice. And I think from there, they worked their way out to the arena.
Yes, Guevara had to work his way back out after getting handcuffed to a shelf.
Which in no way was a dig on WWE whatsoever.
You mean when you happen to look over and see bolt cutters that have been tossed there previously?
Right.
It was like, oh, that was. I mean, if that is in fact a dig, it's like, oh, hey, here's a way that could have been solved.
Yeah. He also grabs his infamous golf cart, runs down Sean Spears.
He gets to finally do it to someone else.
Yeah. Good on you. See, the perks of being a face. I don't like Sammy Guevara as a face. I need him. He's too much fun as a heel.
Well, yeah, because he's so energetic. He's got that. He literally has a baby face.
Right.
And it works so much more when he's being an agitating offender.
Well, the thing about it is I think things have changed now. Back in the 60s and 70s when the term got coined,
it's because
if you were pretty, you were clean shaven, and the girls liked you.
I think the official death knell of that was The Rock coming in as the blue chipper.
Yeah,
and
pretty
because
much.
People you could tell people were officially sick of that because he was clean shaven and he was energetic and upbeat, and people started chanting.
Yeah,
for
die, Rocky, die.
They didn't buy it for a second. So I think that's true. I think that's why it's just like you call it the face and the heel.
Yeah. But so yeah, that's what we've got with Guevara. Anyway, they also worked their way towards the arena.
Meanwhile, while MJF and Jericho are teasing someone possibly going over the railing.
Right. Didn't actually happen.
No, because it was MJF getting tossed into a gimmicked table thing that had a light on it, so it was like a stand. They just goes through that,
and people started the holy shit chant, and boom, here we go down towards the arena. And I want to say, was it Jericho Jericho actually went over on MJF in this one, right?
No, I think the end of their segment,
or was it Sammy?
I think it was Sammy who got the big win because Proud and Powerful and FTR. I just kept.
They never actually made it.
No,
out.
They kept brawling. You just saw them keep going, and then it cut away. I think it was Guevara over Spears. They got back in the ring and finished because Jericho got his on MJF by putting him through that stand. Yeah, and Hager and Wardlow never made it out of the freezer. No, I don't. Well, I think they did because they did a spot on a different cart. Yeah, they might have. I know that. But the main focus was FTR got stuck in an elevator. Yes, that is true. Yeah, and the main two things they focused on was Jericho, MJF, and Guevara and Spears.
Yeah. This whole match was fantastic. The Inner Circle goes over in triumphant fashion.
Yeah.
The crowd goes nuts. This crowd was hot from beginning to end. If I have one complaint about this entire pay-per-view, man, you gotta work on cutting those hours down.
God, yeah. Now I understand they only do one. They do one every couple of months, so
Sure.
I get why they want to pack it full. But man,
You gotta give us a break,
it's
man.
a trial.
Start it an hour earlier. Like we can't keep going to midnight, man. Look, we work for a living here.
literally from pre-show to end of broadcast, it was 5 hours.
That's a lot, guys. It's too much. I enjoyed what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
And this particular time, even the matches that ran too long,
Yeah,
had a nice flow to them.
they did. But it felt like I was watching the director's cut.
Yeah.
WWE, for good or for, even if the show is not great, they do have it tightened to a point where it's like 10:30
Boom, we're out.
It's about the median ending time. It's
Yeah.
like they can end earlier, they might end a little later, but they will wrap it up around that point.
If it's one of the big four that people care about,
It'll run long.
it'll run to 11, but that's about it. Like, I can only imagine. And I'm sorry to say, it looks like I was wrong, and this is actually going to happen. SummerSlam, looks like it's going to be Roman versus Cena.
Oh God. Okay, whatever.
Well, I mean, which means he's going to have to at least keep it past SummerSlam.
Yep.
Because, Cena's not getting the belt.
No, Cena's not getting the belt, and it's like that's what sucks about having an understanding of story.
Yeah.
Not just psychology, but how a story goes.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like you look at that, you look. It's like, oh, Cena's coming back. Is he staying? No. All right, he's not getting the belt.
Yeah. Okay, now let me ask you a question. What if Cena does get the belt? How do you feel about it?
I'm fine.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I'm pissed if he gets the belt.
Yeah.
I would rather Roman keep it and put it on somebody that's going to be there than drop it to Cena, who's going to be a transitional champion.
Right.
I almost said something not right. I would much rather see it on Roman as opposed to Cena, and moving into just somebody that's going to be there, a full-time participant.
Yeah.
Well, having said all this, I absolutely loved this pay-per-view.
It was a great show.
4.5 stars for the whole thing.
And they stuck the landing.
They did. They absolutely did. It was great. Just watch the time. I've never given a pay-per-view 5. I don't believe. Have you? Do you?
I don't recall.
A whole pay-per-view.
I cannot recall. I think you've come close. I don't know.
I just kind of looking back here.
I'm willing to believe it could have happened at least one other time, but it's very rare. It's extremely rare.
No, I never have.
And the first time.
Yeah, if you could shorten that time up, man, I absolutely would give this pay-per-view a 5.
Yes.
But you didn't, so I did give it a strong 4.5 because it was that much fun, and it's so great.
That's fair enough. That's all you're going to knock off points for. That's a pretty damn good pay-per-view.
Yeah, I mean, and it was so great to have a live audience.
Yes.
God, and they were into it. You could tell they have missed being a part of this.
They did. They 100% did.
Well, let me ask you, Fashion Plate.
Yeah.
Well, first I'll tell you, my MVP of the night was 100% Miro. On Miro Day, no less. What do you have for your best dressed?
Oh, best dressed Penta.
Penta, right
Penta,
on.
His Joker outfit was not only on point, it was amazing.
It was
Super stylish. I wonder if that was it was kind of like a nice a funny little response to Ray's Batman costume.
I thought about that, but then
But either way, the amount of care that was put into that.
Now, I've heard, I don't know how much of this is rumor and innuendo or what, but I have heard that Penta and Seidel are ribbers.
Yeah.
And I think, I almost wonder if he did that as a Doink the Clown thing.
Yeah. Don't know.
It's reaching, I know, but it's something that crossed my mind.
If it was that, it was also that it was very subtle because the overall thing was
It felt jokery.
No, it was Joker because there was ha 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 on the sides of it. It was definitely a Joker motif, and it looked amazing because it wasn't just the Joker; it was shaped into his own design, and it was incredible.
Yeah, you couldn't take your eyes off of it. Worst dress,
Cody. That Star-Spangled Nightmare. I saw someone on Twitter make a pretty good joke about it, and it's like, does Cody know that Homelander isn't a good guy?
Oh, man.
That was like 100 times worse than Apollo Creed coming out in Rocky IV.
Yeah, it was a lot. There was a lot there.
At least Apollo paid the price for it.
Wow. And you have the nerve to look at me when I say something about Alexa Bliss's pig.
Well, yeah, because I say something like that every so often. You make a point of having it on a timer in your head, and when it goes off, it's time.
Okay, let me ask you, David Hensley, sir. What do you have for best performance of the evening?
There were a lot of good contenders, but it's got to be my boy Orange Cassidy.
I could not agree more. That was so much fun. Yeah, absolutely. What about worst performance?
I don't have one.
You don't have one, no? Wow, that's all right. Yeah, that's a sign of where I don't even want to say anything disparaging about it because I just enjoyed this whole thing. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, even the stuff you said you weren't big on, I didn't for a second think you felt like you hated it.
No, I absolutely didn't. The thing about AEW is I absolutely love it. It's my favorite organization for wrestling right now, and I want to see it succeed.
Yeah.
And right now we've moved to Friday. Mm-hmm. So that means we're going up against SmackDown. Now, you can't be doing this silly, non-psychological stuff all the time if you're going to... You hate that cord, don't you?
I'm sorry.
That's like the 5th time.
I have stupid fingers.
No, you can't be doing this stuff without a solid story in ring,
right?
All the time. You can do that every once in a while, but you're not going to beat the Colossus if you continue to do it because it will run out, it will get stale,
sure,
and you will fall by the wayside. Vince will, if you're lucky, Vince will buy you out and bury all of you. If you're lucky. If you're not, you're just going to fall by the wayside and you will be another Impact or another ROH. And that'll be, or another, God forbid, Hulk Hogan's reality wrestling. Yeah, that happened. I did not forget. So, yeah. So next up, we have Hell in a Cell. Oh my God!
Must we?
Well, I don't know, man. It's gonna be disappointing after this.
Yeah.
There's no way. This is my challenge. This is my official challenge. I am telling Vince, I know you're listening. Nick Khan, the fake Khan, I know you're listening. There is no way you can live up to what AEW just did. They whooped your ass, and they will continue to do so. No, they can't have a War Games, but they can have a Blood and Guts that will destroy your War Games. Honestly, if I did have one complaint, it would be this. What I would have done, just for the audience sake, we had a live crowd there.
You did.
Instead of giving them a cinematic thing, why didn't you just give them Blood and Guts?
Sure.
And then the Blood and Guts that you were supposed to have run before, give them the Stadium Stampede. That would, because it was a smaller crowd, they would have watched it. They would have been fine. That crowd would have lost it for Blood and Guts, man. I mean, because it's essentially War Games. I mean, well, it is War Games. They just can't call it War Games.
Right.
That would have been amazing. That's the one change I would have made.
Fair.
I wouldn't have done Stadium Stampede. I would have done Blood and Guts.
Well, regardless, we're just going to be sitting on the couch watching Hell in a Cell with our arms crossed going...
Yeah. Judging. Because Vince McMahon can't beat AEW. Yeah, I'm putting it out there. I want him to hear me. Prove me wrong.
I mean, he no longer knows what to do with giant men anymore, apparently.
No. You can't even book Braun Strowman. If you can't book a monster like that,
which used to be Vince's bread and butter.
Yeah. How do you go from that? I can't harp on that enough. Braun Strowman. I kind of get, hey, Alistair Black, that's a little, hey, this whole Dutch, this whole Norwegian dark metal thing, I don't get that. I don't know what all that's about. I don't know what to do. Okay. I understand you don't know what to do. Somebody can make something with it. Strowman, he's a big monster Southern boy. Are you kidding me? Just give me the pen. Let me do it. Just get out of the way. I'm gonna.
You're right. The world needs Hillbilly Jim 2.0.
See, now I did it.
You said Southern, and that was all I needed.
Wow. Hillbilly Jim. You know what? I would pay to see that.
Yes.
We would have Hillbilly Jim be his manager.
Let's have him give him an updated hard rock version of Don't Go Messing with a Country Boy.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not?
I'm a genius.
You're something.
You hear that, Lanny Poffo?
Well, David Hensley, what do we got coming up next?
All right. Well, next week we are going to be wrapping up our View Askew Universe discussion with the film Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
You keep saying film. I don't know.
Yeah. And then there's an NXT takeover coming up pretty soon. I'm pretty sure Shelby told me that. So we're going to be having new episodes of Long Walk Talks, and this is Takeover coming out soon. And Katie and I are also threatening to record more Long Walk Teeny Talks. So
I was about to get on you about that. I was like, still no Teeny Talks, huh?
I know.
Can't threaten me with a good time, sir.
Been a month. Still haven't seen anything.
I
What's
know.
up?
Listen, scheduling. And then once we're done with the View Askew Universe discussion, me and Stan and Chris are going to move on to talking about the filmography, the selected filmography of Christopher Nolan.
I guess.
From July through December.
Wow, that sounds fun. All right. You're not a fan of Christopher Nolan there, Barnes?
Not as much.
No? Oh, that's
not
unfortunate.
as much as those two, at least.
Well, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up. If you want to get a hold of me, you can hit me up on Instagram at This Is a Work Podcast. You can. I've got Twitter if you want at Immortal Two Dogs. And Barnes, what about you?
I'm on Twitter as Chris the OK because I'm not allowed to have fun anymore.
And if you want to follow me online, you can do that on Instagram at DBHensley. If you want to hear more episodes of this show, some of the older episodes, but also see some more of our original works, you can do that by following the YouTube links in the show notes. And to find out more about Long Walk Productions, you can visit us online at longwalk.us. And as always, if you enjoy this show, please make sure to leave us a rating and a review on whatever platform you are listening on.
Thank you so much, David Hensley, for that. Thank you guys for listening and giving us a 5-star review in advance. And remember, for David Hensley and Chris the Fashion Plate Barnes, this is David Two Dogs Hayes saying, if you got out of bed today and you had a job to go to and someone who cares about you when you get back home, folks, this match is over and you just won via pinfall. Thank you very much for listening to This Is a Work.
You know what? I'm going to call her Reba.